If you're trying to understand professional services, you've probably discovered just how fragmented the information can be. You might want to understand what a particular service actually involves. You might need to compare different types of services. You may be researching terminology before speaking with a professional, or perhaps you're simply trying to figure out what kind of professional you actually need. And that's where Servicingpedia comes in. Servicingpedia is a specialist knowledge resource built around the world of professional services. It is designed for business owners, professionals, freelancers, entrepreneurs, researchers, and everyday users who want to better understand services before making decisions. Instead of jumping between dozens of websites, search results, and unexplained industry terms, Servicingpedia aims to provide a structured place for discovering service-related knowledge. You can explore different service categories, learn what particular services involve, understand terminology, discover related topics, and use the knowledge library to investigate areas you may know very little about today. But in this episode, we're putting the spotlight on one particularly important capability: searching the Servicingpedia Knowledge Library. How do you search it? What should you search for? How can you move from a broad question to more specific information? And how can the library help you understand an unfamiliar service? We're going to explore Servicingpedia from the perspective of someone actually trying to solve a problem. By the end, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to turn a simple question into a structured research journey. Let's get started. Before we start searching, let's understand what Servicingpedia is actually trying to accomplish. At its core, Servicingpedia is designed to make knowledge about professional services easier to discover and understand. Think about how enormous the service economy actually is. Marketing, technology, consulting, finance, legal support, administration, design, human resources, cybersecurity, automation, operations, data, project management, and countless specialist areas. Even within one category, there can be dozens of different services. Take digital marketing. You could encounter SEO, paid advertising, content marketing, email marketing, conversion optimization, marketing automation, social media management, analytics, brand strategy, influencer marketing. And suddenly a simple question becomes much bigger. Which service do I actually need? Servicingpedia helps users begin exploring those questions through structured knowledge. An active visitor might start with a broad subject. They can then explore information connected with that subject. That information can introduce additional terminology. Those terms can lead to more specialized topics. And gradually, the user develops a much clearer understanding of the service landscape. That's important because Servicingpedia isn't simply about finding one definition. The bigger objective is understanding the subject well enough to make better decisions. And one of the most important tools for beginning that journey is the Servicingpedia Knowledge Library search. To understand why a service knowledge library can be useful, imagine you're running a small business. Your company is growing, but administrative work is consuming more and more of your team's time. Someone tells you, you should automate some of your processes. Sounds reasonable, but now the questions begin. What exactly is process automation? Which processes can be automated? What's workflow automation? What's robotic process automation? What's AI automation? Do you need a consultant, a developer, a software provider, an automation agency? And how much should you understand before talking to one? Traditionally, you might open a search engine, then another website, then another, then watch a video, then read a vendor's sales page, then encounter terminology you don't recognize, which creates another search and another. Before long, you've opened 15 browser tabs and you're trying to determine which information actually answers your original question. That's the problem a structured knowledge resource can help address. Instead of treating every question as completely isolated, Servicingpedia allows users to explore service knowledge as connected subjects. You might begin with process automation, then discover workflow automation, which leads to business process management, which introduces AI automation, which raises another question. What does an AI automation consultant actually do? Your understanding becomes progressively more detailed. The objective isn't simply to give you more information, It's to help you build a clearer picture of the service you're researching. Now let's actually search the Servicingpedia Knowledge Library. For this example, imagine we want to learn about cybersecurity consulting. Step 1. Start with your question. Before searching, identify what you're actually trying to learn. Are you looking for a definition? Are you trying to understand a service? Are you comparing different service types? Are you researching terminology? Or are you trying to determine what kind of professional could potentially help you? Let's say our question is, what does a cybersecurity consultant actually do? Now we have a starting point. Step 2. Open the Knowledge Library. Navigate to the Servicingpedia Knowledge area. Look for the search functionality available within the library. Rather than entering an extremely complicated question immediately, start with the central concept. We'll enter Cybersecurity Consulting Query. This gives Servicingpedia a clear subject to work from. Step 3. Review the search results. Don't automatically click the first thing you see. Look at the available results. Read the titles. Look for related terminology. Identify broader and narrower subjects. You may encounter concepts connected with areas such as cybersecurity, information security, risk assessment, security audits, penetration testing, incident response, data protection, security monitoring, cybersecurity consulting. Each term potentially answers a different question. That's why search is not simply about finding a page. It's about finding the right information path. Step 4. Open the most relevant topic. Suppose we select an article covering cybersecurity consulting. Now read it with a purpose. Look for answers to questions such as, what is the service? What problems does it address? What activities might be involved? Who typically uses the service? What terminology should I understand? What related services should I investigate? This turns passive reading into structured research. Step 5. Identify new search terms. This is one of the most useful habits when researching an unfamiliar subject. Don't stop after one article. Extract terminology from what you've just learned. Perhaps our cybersecurity article mentions vulnerability assessment. That's now another search. Maybe that article introduces penetration testing. Search again. Then you discover security auditing. Another search. Notice what's happening. We began with, what does a cybersecurity consultant do? But we're gradually building an understanding of the individual activities that can exist within cybersecurity services. Step 6. Narrow the research. Now make the searches more specific. Instead of cybersecurity, try cybersecurity risk assessment. Instead of IT security, try penetration testing services. Instead of data protection, try data protection consulting. Broad searches help you discover the landscape. Specific searches help you investigate individual areas. Step 7. Build your own research trail. At this point, you've created something valuable, a knowledge trail. For example, cybersecurity, cybersecurity consulting, cybersecurity risk assessment, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, security auditing. Each search improves your understanding of the next. That's how the Servicingpedia Knowledge Library becomes more useful than simply looking up one isolated definition. You're using it to explore an entire subject. We've covered the basic process, but there are several ways to make your Servicingpedia research considerably more effective. Search strategy. 1. Start broad, then narrow. Suppose you're interested in artificial intelligence. Searching AI may introduce the wider subject, but then begin narrowing. AI consulting, AI automation, generative AI consulting, AI business automation, AI implementation. Each search investigates a different part of the subject. Search strategy 2. Search the problem. Sometimes you don't know the name of the service. You only know the problem. Perhaps your problem is my website isn't appearing in Google. That might eventually lead you toward SEO, technical SEO, local SEO, content optimization, search engine marketing, or another related area. This is an important distinction. People don't always begin their research knowing the professional terminology. Often they begin with a problem. Search strategy 3. Follow the terminology. Every specialist subject has its own language. A business owner researching automation might encounter API, webhook flow, trigger, integration, RPA, LLM, CRM automation. Each unfamiliar term represents a possible knowledge gap. Search it, understand it, then return to the original subject. Search strategy 4, compare related services. Consider web designer versus web developer, or bookkeeper versus accountant, or SEO consultant versus digital marketing consultant. These services may overlap, but they aren't necessarily interchangeable. Researching them separately can help clarify those differences. Search strategy 5, research before you buy. This may be one of the most valuable uses of Servicingpedia. Before approaching a service provider, learn the fundamentals. Understand the terminology. Understand the typical activities. Understand the questions worth asking. You don't need to become an expert. You simply want enough knowledge to have a better conversation. Knowledge before purchasing can lead to better questions, and better questions can lead to better decisions. Let's put everything together. Meet Sophie. Sophie owns a growing online retail company. Orders are increasing, which is great, but there's a problem. Her team is spending hours every week manually transferring information between different systems. Customer details, orders, invoices, shipping information, follow-up emails. Someone suggests automation. Sophie likes the idea, but she doesn't know where to begin. So she visits Servicingpedia. Her first search is business automation. She begins reading. During her research, she encounters the term workflow automation. She searches that next. Now she begins understanding how repetitive tasks can potentially be connected through automated workflows. Another term appears, API integration. She doesn't know what that means, so she searches it. Now she understands why different software applications may need a way to communicate with each other. Next, she encounters CRM automation. Another search, then AI automation. Another search. Within a relatively short research session, Sophie's question has changed dramatically. She began with, "Can I automate some of my business?" Now she's asking, which workflows should I automate first? Which systems need integrating? And what type of automation specialist should I speak with? That's a much better question. Servicingpedia didn't make the business decision for Sophie. Instead, the knowledge helped her become better prepared to make the decision herself. And that's the practical value of searching a specialist knowledge library. You don't just find answers, you discover better questions. If you're planning to use Servicingpedia regularly, here are 5 ways to get more from it. Tip 1. Don't search only once. Treat your first search as the beginning. One useful article should generate new terminology and new questions. Follow them. Tip 2. Move between broad and specific searches. Start with marketing, then narrow to digital marketing, then search engine optimization, then technical SEO. This creates context before detail. Tip 3. Search every term you don't understand. Don't simply skip unfamiliar terminology. Those terms often contain the knowledge you actually need. Think of every unfamiliar phrase as another doorway into the subject. Tip 4. Research before contacting a professional. If you're considering purchasing a service, spend a little time understanding it first. Research what it is, what it typically involves, what related services exist, what terminology is commonly used, and what questions you may want to ask. You'll enter the conversation considerably better prepared. Tip 5. Return as your needs change. The service you need today may not be the service you need 6 months from now. A startup might initially research logo design, later website development, then digital marketing, then accounting services, then cybersecurity, then process automation, then business consulting. Your knowledge needs evolve with your business. Servicingpedia can become a place you return to whenever another unfamiliar service question appears. A good first Servicingpedia journey. If you're completely new to Servicingpedia, try this. Visit Servicingpedia. Think of one professional service you don't fully understand. Search for the broad subject. Open the most relevant information. Identify 3 terms you didn't previously know. Search each of them. Then identify one specialist service connected with the original subject. Research that. Within a few searches, you'll probably understand the subject very differently than when you started. So what have we learned? Servicingpedia is designed to help people explore and better understand the enormous world of professional services. Whether you're a business owner, Entrepreneur, professional, freelancer, manager, or simply someone trying to understand a service before making a decision, the objective is simple: make service knowledge easier to discover. And today's featured capability, the Servicingpedia Knowledge Library, gives you a starting point. We learned how to begin with a broad question, how to search the central concept, how to identify related terminology, how to move from broad subjects into specialist topics, how to compare related services, and how to build a research trail rather than stopping after one search. Remember Sophie's journey. She started with, "Can I automate my business?" and finished with a much clearer understanding of workflows, integrations, and different forms of automation. That's the difference between simply searching for information and actually building knowledge. So the next time you encounter a professional service you don't fully understand, don't simply guess. Research it, explore it, follow the terminology, and build your understanding. Visit Servicingpedia.com and start with something you want to understand better. And before we finish, there's one more thing worth knowing. Servicingpedia is part of the wider MP Nerds ecosystem. MP Nerds develops and operates digital platforms, specialist websites, and knowledge resources across areas including business, professional services, governance, learning, and collections. Each has its own purpose, each serves its own audience, and each is designed around a particular area of knowledge or digital activity. Here on Servicingpedia, however, the mission remains firmly focused on helping people better understand the world of professional services. Now we want to hear from you. What professional service should Servicingpedia explain next? Cybersecurity? AI automation? SEO? Accounting? Business consulting? App development? Something completely different? Tell us in the comments. Your suggestion could become the subject of a future Servicingpedia video or knowledge feature. And if you've discovered a service term that you simply don't understand, leave that in the comments too. Visit Servicingpedia.com to explore the knowledge library. Subscribe to the Servicingpedia YouTube channel for our next walkthrough. And we'll see you in the next episode of Servicingpedia Explained. Search it, understand it, make better informed decisions.